Georgetown is no longer a member of the top 14.
Oh,
Georgetown out, UCLA in.
wow.
And I think we should spend about 30 seconds on this item because it doesn't fucking matter at all. It's so stupid.
I knew Georgetown was out. I knew it. I knew they weren't as good as they said they were.
Yeah, right. Whatever, dude. U.S. News and World. Listen, we need to have a new policy on the show, which is single digit changes in the rankings or single digit differences between schools matter not. 0%. It matters 0%. The fact that Georgetown is now out of the top 14 and UCLA is now in the top 14. There's not one fucking job in the world that affects.
Nope. Although, wait, there is one job.
Yes, two jobs.
Georgetown's dean.
Yep. We got a dean at Georgetown who's fired, and we got a dean at UCLA who's getting a raise. And that's the only jobs in the world that it affects. That's it.
No, to be clear, he may not get fired, but the fact is he's waking up and he's thinking twice about what he needs to do to convince all his people that he's okay, that he's been doing a good job.
Well, we're on his side. We need to have a policy anytime it comes up where people make comparisons between schools, and maybe we can actually develop this over time, because single digit rankings, single digit differences makes no difference. So 11 to 19, I don't give a fuck. That's not a difference.
Yeah.
When we get even deeper into the rank, and it might be a percentage thing, because when we get deeper into the rankings, not only do single digit differences not matter, but like the difference between 40 and 70 does not matter.
Yep.
It does not matter. So I think maybe it's like, unless there's a 50% or 100% difference, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And then at some point, I guess
it's got to be a curve, doesn't it?
It would take that into account maybe. But at some point, there's no change is going to matter.
Right.
From
but
80 to 180, for example.
Do you listen to the Above the Law podcast by chance?
No.
Thinking Like a Lawyer?
Mm-mm.
Joe Patrice and Catherine Rubino now. It used to be Ellie Mistal. Anyway, it's a good show that like keeps you up on, legal news and law school stuff. And they both went to law schools, and they argue. One of them went to Columbia and one of them went to NYU, and they chirp at each other about the differences in the rankings between those two schools.
Sure.
But they themselves acknowledge that it doesn't make any practical difference that Georgetown is now 15 and UCLA is now 14, and who cares? But then in the very next breath, they go, well, it probably really doesn't matter until you get to like in the top 25.
Wait, what?
Well, right. And so all they're doing, and it's like human nature, I suppose, but all they're doing is arbitrarily setting a different barrier. Like they're shitting on the idea that the top 14 matters, but then they're like going to propose that the top 25 matters instead, which the difference between 25 and 26 is even less of a difference than the difference between 14 and 15, which was already 0 to begin with. So who gives a shit? It's hard.
Yeah. Do they mean though that like, oh, if you are in the top 25, well, yeah, I mean, I see the difference.
No, they were literally saying like, that there's not that much, that they were like trying to say that there's not really a difference, between the top 14 and the rest of the top 25. But then they are implying that there's a big difference between the top 25 and, 26 through 34 or whatever, 35. And it's like, no, it's a curve. There are differences. If we're talking about the difference between the third school and the 30th school, then like if there's an order of magnitude of difference between the two, then there's a difference between the two in those rankings. It actually means something at that point. But
I like your
God. Yes.
No, yeah. I like your 100% formula. That seems about right to me. If your ranking changes by 100%, something's
so there's a difference between 25 and 50.
Yes, exactly.
And there's a difference between 20 and 40,
60.
30 and 60. I'm actually not sure that it breaks down at some point, because the difference between 60 and 120 it's local. It's just,
Yeah.
I'm not sure that there's a real big difference.
Well, if that happened though, imagine for a second you're ranked 60 and then you went to 120.
Oh,
Now you've
yeah.
passed our 100%, right? And it's like,
I'm
okay, maybe something happened.
I'm actually thinking about comparing, because it's more practical. Like students don't give a shit. Students are
Yeah.
comparing two schools between each other, right? Applicants care. They're comparing two schools between each other. And yeah, I suppose that a school ranked 60th and a school ranked 120th, there might be actual differences there that you should consider. But you also shouldn't pay for either of those schools. So, go to the best school that you can get a full ride at. Just don't pay for law school and you're fine.
Yeah, it's just that at 100%, maybe the ranking would come into consideration. Before that, no consideration.
So 60 and 90.
60 and 90, no consideration.
Don't care. So 90 and 120, don't care. 40 and 60, don't care. 100%. It's the 100% rule on rankings. There's only a difference. We're only going to even consider a difference if there's 100% difference in the US News rankings. And then we might also say there's not really a difference. So like, the difference between 3 and 6.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should also throw in single digit.
That's why your rule is not bad, actually. Yeah.
We might have a supplementary rule that single digit never matters, but
I just want to know where that Pareto's principle comes into play, and maybe being in the top.
It's true.
So 100% is not bad. I mean,
what's the third law school in the country? Stanford?
Yeah. Stanford.
Stanford?
Harvard. Yeah. They go back and forth.
Okay. So, is there actually a difference? Yeah. I mean, okay. So, and if Berkeley is 6th somehow, they're probably not, but if they were, then certainly, the difference between Stanford and Berkeley, there's going to be some doors probably that Stanford will open that Berkeley won't.
And all we're saying with the 100% rule is that now you might take it into consideration. Right. I think it's not like, oh, I hit 100%. Now that means everything. No, this is just when you have the permission to think about it. Before so that, you can't think about it.
To reformulate it as a conditional, if there's not a 100% difference, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yep.
That's the rule.
Yep.
But if there is 100% difference, then we don't know if it matters.
There you go.
Right?
It might. That's it. Yep.
In the world where there's not 100% difference, it doesn't fucking matter. In the world where there is 100% difference, there's no rule.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. We're getting somewhere.